streaming radio media player on our website's front page, where local artists can get their music played 24/7. For more information on getting your music in rotation or to perform live at our studio, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
Android users, the VoxWave app is now available in the Google Play Store. Download the app today on your Android device to listen in and view programs.
Business owners looking for a place to advertise your business and promote your products and services? VoxWave is the right place. We have over 10,000 views a day and 70,000 listeners a month. For more information, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
Enhance your listening experience. VoxWave.com.
Check out all your favorite shows at VoxWave.com. On Mondays, we keep it moving with The Kim Show from 11 to 1 p.m. Then it's time for a change with Sherry and Mignon, 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then in the end we win with Curtis, 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. On Tuesdays, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Start your afternoon with The Wealth Zone with Raymond Starks. Then it's Cooking with Flavors with Chef Flavors, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And treat yourself right with My Spa Bath and Body, hosted by Margaret Harris, 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Up next is Slick Daddy Rick, Heartbeat Congo Hour, rocking from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Then on Wednesdays, you can't miss Impact the World with Cheryl Woods, 12 noon to 2 p.m. And then from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., we got Slick Talk with Oscar D and It's the Kid. Then from 8 to 9 p.m., we crank it up with Live Set Wednesdays, hosted by Reg Gaskins. And after that, 9:15 to 10:15 p.m., the BGKH Show with Dominion and Epic. And check out our Thursday lineup, starting with You, Math, and Me, hosted by George Randall from 10 to 10:30 a.m. Then from 7 to 9 p.m., the 640 Evening Show with DJ 640. And on Fridays, we start out with Peace in the Morning Show with Darius A. Stan, co-host Delicate Daryl Barnes, and Queen of Sudabed, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. From 10:30 to 11:30, the Hall Street Journal with Robert Hall and co-host Clarence Sanders. And after that, you know we gotta check in with Chanel's 3 Cents, 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Up next, from 3 to 4:30 p.m., Daryl Allen Hairston II Crime Victims Foundation Show with your host, Daryl Hairston. Then, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. is The Rush Hour with DJ Drew and Janique. And from 9:15 to 11:15 p.m., you can't miss Different Mind Show with Bam 640 and DJ Andre Michael, co-host Hillary Banks. Then start out your Saturday mornings with the Healer Blues Show, hosted by Ron Jackson. After that, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m., the Hour of Power with Reverend Winters Rogers. Then, from 11 a.m. to 12 noon, it's time for Prayer, Praise, and Deliverance with Elder Thurman Gorman Jr. Four Sisters Live Talk, 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Then every second Saturday, listen to Turning Dreams into Reality Talk Show with Tashika L. Green, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. After that, from 3 to 4 p.m., we walk in newness 24/7 with Missionary Antoinette. And don't miss, from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m., News, ULM News and Analysis, Information, Sports, Black History, with your host, news anchor Roderick Carter Willis, 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Then, from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., it's time for DJ Rick, the CEO of Step Your Game Up, the Youth Project, co-hosted by DJ Main and DJ Low Hefe. And then, at 7:45 to 8:45 p.m., it's time for the Fantastic Live Show with MC Fran. And starting out on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., I am Dr. Sharon Show with Dr. Sharon. And every first Sunday, from 3 to 4 p.m., it's the Riri Williams Show, Fashion and Style Hour. And every third Sunday, check out the Tea Talk Show with Dr. Akita Pearson, 3 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Then it's time for Real Talk 101, 6 to 8 p.m. And from 8:15 to 9:15 p.m., we're tuned into the Gospel Live TV show with Glory Mello. Stay tuned to Vox Wave, where you can find all your favorite shows.
The world's #1 streaming music station, VoxWave.com.
You Yes, sir. As you were speaking, before you spoke the truth, and I can't refute that. We call ourselves human beings, but we got people in this country committing inhuman acts. So I can't call you a human. You know, we got animals that think better than some of you people. Not you people. I don't want to use that. But when I worked downtown as a law officer, I never disrespected anyone. I was also a union official, and I would go to union meetings and I would talk about conduct and not call names, but I was concerned about the fact that we as police officers are supposed to be public servants and public relation people, and to think about how a police officer can go out and kill a person, you know, innocent person. You know, you were not trained to do that.
Well, maybe they were. Well, let me ask you this. Why not call names? I think we need to call names. Because when they shoot a bullet, the bullet get a name on it. When they choke somebody to death on camera, we know that name. We need to know the name of these police. And if you're police and you're not policing the police, then what kind of police are you? If a police was to arrest me, they sure gonna write my name down. How come a police is not arresting the police? Now that's the question I got for all you members of the fraternal order. If you want real honor, if you want respect, when you see another member of that order committing a crime, you need to police your own brother first before you come and try to police me. And you need to write his name down. Just like you write my name down.
One thing I thought about, you know, I saw some things inside of the police force that we need to have police officers to go through a psychiatric evaluation every year, because you're carrying a gun, and it's a matter of whether you take your gun out and shoot someone. You can take a life, or you can allow someone to have their lives, you know. And we got police officers that got serious psychological problems. They're racist. They be racially profiling. I walk patrol with them, and I saw what they did. I just didn't. I said to someone that it was up to me. It was up to me. You wouldn't have a job. You don't have the right to violate other people's rights, civil rights, their congressional rights. You don't have that right. And if you are conducting yourself like that, you don't need to wear the badge.
Well, they don't have the right, but they think they got the right. And I want to see. I won't respect the FOP as an organization until I see some police arresting some police. If I don't see police, I don't respect you. You're a farce. You're a fraud. You don't believe in any oath you swore. You're a liar. You lie when you put the uniform on. You're a walking lie. You're a walking, talking lie with a badge and a gun. Face that in the mirror. Who are you really? What agency do you really work for? And Eric Sievers said these white KKK cops out here have lost their damn mind. They need to be held accountable and charged with murder when clearly that's what it is. Murder. You are absolutely right, Eric Sievers. It is murder. It is murder on camera under color of law, and the law should deal with murder as murder no matter who commits it. I am so tired of a square cell phone being described as a gun. And it ain't happened one time, again and again. I thought we not even allowed as black people to have anything in our hands no more. That's not. We got to get white cell phones, and they'll probably think it was a white gun. I mean, I don't know what kind of stuff this is, but something's got to change. I'm advocating all black men that don't have a felony conviction, get out here and get you a gun. Get a minute. They talking about gun control. I ain't supporting it. I ain't trusting. They take away the gun, and the only people that have it is the government. And you want me to support the idea of the only people having guns, the same police that's taking our life? No. I think every black man in America that has the legal right to get a gun ought to go get 2 of them, 3 of them, and be ready for whatever. Because until there's only 2 things they gonna respect, and I say this to black people: if they lose their life or if they lose their money. Them 2 things are the only thing they respect. And I'm telling you, we're not gonna lay down and just die in submission. You know, you talking to somebody while they choking you. You talking to somebody while they shooting you. You talking to somebody while they tasing you, pummeling you, and trying to maim you. I seen the guys, 2 or 3 guys on one guy who's trying to allow himself to be arrested, and they literally break his legs with a baton on camera, and somehow get justified. And just like they went and got Bill Cosby, the prosecutor went and prosecuted Bill Cosby, but they ain't prosecute Matt Lauer. They ain't prosecute Kevin Spacey. They ain't prosecute Bill O'Reilly. They ain't prosecute David Letterman. They don't prosecute none of these old white dudes who's doing the same thing and worse. They don't prosecute them. So the ability of a prosecutor to be racist in his decision of who to prosecute is another problem. And then I seen another video where a white judge, a woman, was so mean and nasty to a black woman who had gotten some type of lightweight misdemeanor altercation with a family member, and she wouldn't even allow the woman to speak in the courtroom. And the woman was suffering from emphysema, and she was trying to tell the judge that what she was dealing with. And the judge literally and rudely, in a nasty way, as an old white woman to an old black woman, talked to her like she was the dog. Talked to her like she was a piece of dog dung. Talked down to her, condescended to her, and was disrespectful to that woman. And that woman died 2 days later from the complications from this emphysema that she had, and she needed a treatment, and they kept her locked up, would not allow her to speak in front of the judge, and then the chief judge asked that judge, who was getting ready to retire anyway, to step down. Because they know that this is what this judge did. And Andre Smalley said, Donald Trump. I don't even know what to do with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a reflection of America and the racist psychosis of America. If you got issue with anything I'm saying, you can clap back, you can talk back. Call 240-719-2560. I want to hear what you got to say. If you a Trump supporter, you support these things that he is saying and doing and how he's conducted himself, you can call in the show. That's fine. 240-719-2560. The Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. Call on into the show and let's have a conversation. Because we got to have dialogue. We have to have dialogues even with people we think they're fools. We got to have a conversation. We got to have open dialogue. I'm cool with that. I don't have a problem with that. if you want to defend the conduct of these officers on the street. And I know that being an officer is not easy. There's a lot of officers that are due respect. I got officers in my family, good people in my family. Don't get it twisted. But to the extent the members of my family don't step up in a powerful way and make a public statement to say that you don't support this, and then have enough courage in the heat of the moment to check an officer from doing, because so often you see a bad officer getting out on somebody and the other officers who know better are standing right there and let it happen. I've seen it on too many videos where you see that 2 or 3 that's staying to the back while another 2 or 3 is acting a fool. And what would happen to save any semblance of respect for the institution if those who consider themselves good would just demonstrate a little more courage? You are a coward to stand there and let somebody abuse another person like that. You are a coward to participate in that. You are a cold coward. And I don't know how you face yourself in the mirror. I don't understand how I was a soldier myself. And I saw some things and I pulled people up. When I was in Haiti, I saw the abuse that was happening, where soldiers were abusing Haitian citizens. I pulled them people up. You're not going to do that in front of me. You're not going to do that. And I know it's not easy, but we got to do it, Mr. Sanders. They got to. Your fellow officers have got to step up if they want to save any respect for their profession, man.
People say that America is one of the greatest countries in the world.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Okay, but America is not as great as it can be.
Right.
If we, as a people, come together and show love, consideration.
I know that sounds
respect.
good, Mr. Sanders, but how do we do that? How do we deal with when they pulling this black woman clothes off her in public and slamming her on the ground and literally threatening to break her arm over some plastic utensils in the Waffle House?
Well,
how do we get love and respect? Because I'm gonna tell you, I don't feel like no love and respect. I want to see his wife and his daughter treated like that. I want to have him watch his family. I don't feel no love and respect. I feel enraged. Good morning. I'm right here looking crazy. Okay. Welcome to the... Good morning, Mr. Sanders.
Good morning to all the good people listening to this program. You are going to receive some valuable information.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you listen to this program with Mr. Robert Howard and myself, you're going to receive some valuable information. And all you need to do is process it in your mind and put it into practical application. Implement. Don't just receive the information and then don't implement.
Gotta implement it.
Gotta implement it.
You can't just you got just be here, but you gotta be a doer.
Do it.
And we appreciate y'all for checking us out. You watching the Hall Street Journal. We're here to educate, edify, enlighten, and entertain. We probably got about a few minutes that we'll be on Facebook, and then we'll be signing off from Facebook because I don't have any power in my phone.
Is that right?
It's that kind of morning. It's that kind of morning. Brother Kevin Crafton, how you doing, bro? Good to see you. Good to see you. We got that show next month. Y'all check my page. I'm going to be playing the saxophone at the church with my brother Kev, who's a phenomenal singer. We got to get him on the show. Brother Kev, we got to get you on the show, man, so you can sing. You ever heard a brother sing? This brother is something else, Mr. Sanders. I'm going to get y'all be singing at the same time.
You're right.
Look, if you want to keep on checking out the show when this phone shut down, you got to go to VoxWave.com. That's VoxWav.com. VoxWav.com. If you want to call into the show, the number is 240-719-2560. We appreciate you, Brother Kev, for being here. And, you know, I'm excited, as usual, about the show. You know, we always on time, except for when we late. I drove in from Baltimore this morning. Yeah, I drove in from Baltimore and caught myself having breakfast in Baltimore. I don't know what I was thinking about. I had to get up and drive out there and eat at, where did I go? Miss Shirley or somewhere downtown on Pratt Street. It was good food, though. It was good food. So, back down here, we're going to have a little show. We still got about 40 minutes left that we can have a little conversation. Mr. Sanders, I see you got that finger up. What's up, Mr. Sanders?
I want to say that since I've known Mr. Robert Hall, I can't call him a workaholic. I think a term that I can't even think of. He does not waste valuable time on foolishness, confusion, and all the nonsense that people carry on. You cannot, create and produce much of anything, doing much of nothing. And I wrote it in my poetry. You will never finish what you never start. And making excuses and complaining, all that energy is being wasted. You go. I'm talking to those individuals who are playing games with themselves. You gotta do more than what you're doing. You're only passing through here once. You gotta grab all the gusto that you can, like some people say when they catch a bunch of fish.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? I was riding up the road, and we're going to get into the show. I want to talk about Roseanne Barr's show getting canceled. I want to talk about, some of the stuff that's going on with the NFL, a couple things going on. But what came to me was a bit of poetry from a man you may have heard of named Mark Twain. And I don't really remember exactly how he said it, but he said something to this effect, and it rings true. He said, forgiveness is the scent. No, let me get it right. He said, forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet leaves on the heel of the foot that crushed it.
Good God.
I gotta say it one more time because it's just been ringing in my spirit. I don't even know what it's for. But he said, forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet leaves on the heel of the foot that crushed it.
Good
God. I don't know who that's for, but it's a picture of what forgiveness is and the power of forgiveness. It is the fragrance that the violet leaves on the heel of the foot that crushed it. And it brings me to some of the things that Mr. Sanders, you've been talking about people showing love. To people who are doing horrible things to them. Mistreating them and abusing them. And the only thing that allows you to do that, you have to have a spirit of love and forgiveness. And I struggle with that. And I think we struggle with it sometimes because we don't understand the power of it.
Right.
But, you know, and now Mark Twain might have said it a little bit different, but that's the gist of it. It's the fragrance that the violet leaves on the heel of the foot that crushed it. And so, you know, it takes, there's a nobility to the violet. That in the course of that can do that. So, you know, it's very interesting. I've seen, you know, that recently Roseanne Barr was getting ready to have her show rebooted. They're going to bring the Roseanne show back. And as they were coming up close to the relaunch, the reboot of Roseanne, she made a comment and called Valerie Jarrett, who used to be on President Obama's staff, called Miss Valerie Jarrett, basically referred to her as an 8. And then ABC came back and canceled her show. And the discussion now is that, you know, conservatives are talking about free speech, some of them, and in this case, but then it's like, well, where's the contradiction? Why didn't you feel that way when the football players were kneeling? How come you didn't support their free speech at their workplace? And I'm kind of of the opinion that you know, I see where you need to be on one side or the other. Either you support free speech or you don't. And I think the most difficult thing is to support free speech that is offensive, that requires you to be the bigger person, that requires you to demonstrate that forgiveness, that requires you to leave that fragrance on the foot of the heel that's crushing you, that is calling you out of your name, that even though it's hateful speech, even though it's racist speech, is it still free speech? I want to hear what y'all got to say about that. Is hateful and racist speech still free speech under the Constitution? 240-719-2560. Can you get past it? Can you demonstrate the nobility of a violet being crushed when the head of the Ku Klux Klan is calling you the N-word and referring to your child as a mongrel? There is a test. There is a test. There is a difficulty. And we have to face it. Particularly those of us who believe we are the children of the light and we on the side of right, we have to confront these questions, because if we say support the brothers when they kneel, can we in the same breath say, let Roseanne say what she want to say? And should she lose the job? Or do we say both private companies have the right to fire or discipline their employees for what they deem to be a poor representation of their institutions? This is a real question. You know, we're here to talk about it. We're here to talk about it, and the overarching theme is about forgiveness. The fragrance that the violet leaves on the heel of the foot that crushed it. What say you, Mr. Sanders?
Once you, there's something that helped me to heal in my spirit, in my heart, because I was not like this in the earlier years of my life. I never was the type of person that went around hating people. You know, I hate the bad things that people do to one another, but I don't hate people. And I find that my conscience is clear because, and when I think about, it says in the word, it said all, A-L-L, all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And then when I think about me making mistakes and wrong decisions, and God still bless me and forgive me but I can't forgive my brother, you know, for wronging me and what he's done, and that's something I often thought about. How can I forget? How can I, how can I continue to, to hate? It's like a cancer, and it's eating at a person to the point that it will destroy you in time. But the thing of it is not so much to think about the hatred, but we talk about love, and God is love and God is light, and where there is light can be no darkness.
We're looking for comments, 240-719-2560. If you support the brothers kneeling and their free speech in the NFL, do you support Roseanne making a racist comment as a form of free speech? The Constitution protects the burning of the flag. The Constitution protects the right of the Ku Klux Klan to march down the middle of the street. Those conservatives out there who supported the free speech of the folks in Charlottesville, who were talking about Jews and blacks, but turned around and, as hypocrites, said the brothers couldn't kneel. And you got brothers and sisters who support the kneeling, who turn around and say Roseanne can't say something off color, racist, hurtful. And where do we draw the line of free speech? And now we've got laws where people are actually going to jail. There was a woman in South Africa jailed for calling two black officers Kafirs. Multiple times, something about 60, 70 times she called them Kafirs, which is basically like nigger, except for they have not reappropriated the word in South Africa. It is just what it is. And she called him that about 76 times or something, and they put her in jail. Another man, he was videotaped in America for, I think they called it, it's some form of crime related to racial intimidation. He lived next door to a black family, and he cussed at them and talked crazy to them and kind of terrorized them and left dead squirrels and all kind of stuff, and cussed at the kids and shot a water hose at them and threatened them and all that. And he just got time. And so, we're dealing with something very, very serious here. And when we're trying to walk a fine line between having free speech and then dealing with hate speech, and is hate speech excluded from protection under the Constitution? And maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe, they say sticks and stones will break my bones, but words never hurt me. But I think words can be very, very painful.
Yes.
There is a such thing as verbal abuse.
Yes.
But how do we draw the line, and where do we place the standard on what is hateful and what is not, and how do we still maintain our ability? Because who wants to be suddenly in the nation where you can just say the wrong thing, towards somebody, and you say, I don't support gay rights, and they go, oh, that's hate speech, you're going to jail. Where does it end? Where does it begin?
I was sworn in 3 times the first time I didn't even understand what I was being sworn into when they said, well, I would defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Sworn in 3 times. You cannot unswear me. But the point I want to emphasize is the rights that we have under the Constitution, and one of the greatest rights in the Constitution is your inalienable right that was given to you by God and not man, to right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And when you interfere with the rights of others, you know, that's where your rights cease. And if you violate the Constitution of the United States, then that's a crime, and those individuals are supposed to be locked up. That's a crime. I will defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's why when it boils down, it really doesn't matter about what your race, creed, color, national origin, sex, or religion is. We all have rights. But some people want to, they want to misuse their rights. They want to say to themselves that I have a right to do my own thing. No, you don't. Especially when it's affecting me and my family and my friends, because I'm not a bad guy. I love all people, but there are 2 sides to me, and it's like a Dr. Jekyll and a Mr. Hyde. You tamper with my family, that's not a good practice. You tamper with my friends, that's not a good practice. So I'm emphasizing that we, Americans, stop with this racism and discrimination and division and come together and show more love, consideration, and respect for one another.
Absolutely, that is absolutely the ideal. Now, there's guys out here. There's something else I'm seeing. There's a lot of movement to deal with bearing arms, and I watched a video where they had a brother who was licensed to carry a weapon, and he hadn't ever had to use it, but he was in a barbershop, and 2 other guys came in and robbed the place, and he ended up shooting and killing one of the guys. He didn't get prosecuted. He was with some organization, but it was like an insurance. They do training, they do insurance, they provide legal assistance, what have you. They get you a lawyer and help you deal with the police in a situation where even if you lawfully discharge a gun and shoot somebody, you can still get arrested. You can still have a real bad situation going on if you don't know what to do. But it just so happened that this promotional video for this organization utilized this particular man, and the man was black. And I said, okay, well, do we need to have more brothers who are armed and trained and insured and registered and able to defend themselves against what may occur? There's no way to go on social media without being inundated literally every 15 minutes with another video of police mistreating somebody, abusing somebody, sometimes killing people. I've been watching a couple videos where they turn the dogs loose. They got guys handcuffs and the dog about to tear the arm off. And they're not pulling the dog off the person. They just letting the dog, go at it for a extended period of time on a man who's already laying on the ground face down with his handcuff. Now, if I'm laying on the ground face down handcuffed and you got a dog that's just going at my arm, what am I supposed to do? They're supposed to just basically endure the pain. Or another guy who they cuffed him up essentially for nothing. He had a conversation and they hit him with a taser. He was already cuffed and took him down. So I don't know. I'm of so many. I'm caught between so many opinions. And I saw a comedy thing that talked about that. But I wonder if more brothers did properly arm themselves, train themselves, register, and insure their weapons. How that would affect the situation. I'm not saying that's the solution. I just don't know. I don't know what the solution is. Maybe it's a dialogue, but it seems like some people their intent is to get out there and hurt people.
From my first marriage, which my wife passed on, but anyway, we took a trip to the Bahamas, and we had to catch a cab, and so when we got down around Bay Street and the Straw Market area, I think it was the Straw Market area, I noticed that the police officers carried no weapons. So I asked the taxi cab driver, I said, well, why don't they carry weapons? He said, if they arm the police, they have to arm the citizens. And now I understand why. Because even though the police officers are well trained, and all, some overstep their authority. You are a disgrace to your office when you mistreat and violate people's rights. Constitutional rights is civil rights, and you are not qualified really to carry the badge of that office. And I'll say that. I'll say it to you, to your face, whoever you are. I'll say you're not qualified. If you can't do the job like you were trained to do, protect and serve, and be a public servant, then you need to turn your equipment in. Don't let them fire you. Just turn your equipment in and get out the door. Don't come back.
That's interesting. That Bahamian taxi driver said if they arm the police, they have to arm the citizens. If they arm, and then, that's a if-then in the Bahamas, but it's the fact here.
Yeah.
We just don't all engage our right to be armed. And so now hearing that idea and the sensibility that it presents, I'm more convinced that we need to increase the numbers of minorities who are armed, and have the ability to defend themselves in a difficult situation. I just feel like it might give some pause in how we are approached, which I think sometimes the confidence with which some of these folks approach us, they know we don't have a gun.
Right. They do.
They know you don't have a gun, but then they use the I thought he had a gun as an excuse after they kill you. But they know you don't have, they know the numbers. They know we are less likely to be armed and have a registered weapon on us. And every time I watch the video, I saw it again yesterday of Philando Castillo being murdered by that police officer, where he literally calmly and peacefully said, I do want you to know that I'm carrying a firearm. And the police, his fear went through the roof, and he immediately started saying, well, don't grab it, don't take it out, don't grab it, and then he pulled the gun out and he shot him as Philando was reaching for his wallet.
Wow.
So as he's going for his wallet, and he peacefully said, I want you to know that I do have a firearm and I'm licensed to carry it. And he goes to get the wallet, and it cost him his life. He tried to follow the rules and the protocol. Well, probably if he had said nothing, he'd still be here today.
Yeah. When I was living in Washington, there was an incident that happened it was up around L Street, from my understanding. There was a young kid, 15 years old, that someone reported him for stealing bicycles. Okay? Well, they put a bicycle, I think they put a bicycle somewhere, and the kid came along and they set him up. And he took the bicycle and started trying to leave, and the police officer had no business of taking his weapon out of his holster because his life was not threatened. Nobody's life was threatened. He pulled his weapon out of his holster, put his finger in the trigger guard, and pulled the trigger and shot the young 15-year-old boy in the back. You bad police officers give good police officers on all police forces a bad name. The good police officers get the short end of the stick because of the bad ones. And that's not, some people see police officers as bad. That's not true. All police officers are not bad, right, because of the one bad apple in the barrel will spoil the whole barrel of apples. One. I was taught that when I was a kid.
Right. And I think we need to do more to try to connect the people that are police to the people that are in the community. Because, police are people first. Before they ever become an officer, they're a person. They're a human being. So when they put on a uniform, all of the elements of being human don't disappear. I watched an awesome video of an African American police officer who was he was in the hood, and he saw a whole bunch of brothers, young brothers. They had their shirt off, they had their maybe some shorts on and some sweats on, and there was in the middle of the hood, in the middle of the parking lot, and they all had boxing gloves, and they was out there boxing each other. Just boxing, practicing boxing. They had real gloves. They was tying them up and all that, and they was out there boxing. So this particular officer, when the video came on, he was putting his gloves on because he was getting ready to box one of the young boys. And the young guy was bigger than him. Had some height on him, had some reach on him, everything. And this little police officer put them boxing gloves on, man, and they told him to go, and boy, they had a nice little rumble. Boy, that police officer could move. I mean, he was bobbing and weaving like Roy Jones Jr. out there. I mean, and he was throwing some left hooks and some stuff. I'm like, if he catch that boy, he gonna knock him out. I mean, you can tell that this officer has spent a lot of time in the gym. And he wasn't scared. He wasn't no punk. But he wasn't malicious. He wasn't vicious. He was as playful as the moment was. And the young guy, he got some good licks in too. They had a nice little rumble. And when it was over, they congratulated each other, took the gloves off. And, I said, see, now this is an officer who is going to have real respect from these young men, outside of his weapon, outside of his uniform, but as a person, they see that he sees their humanity. He knew how to deal with the situation. He could have run in there and said, y'all get out of here, y'all can't box, y'all can't be in this parking lot, you don't do this. But he took the time to get to know them. He took the time to get involved. He took the time to be connected, and he literally put his neck on the line to be respected. Now, what you doing, I know a little something about that. Let me show you, I got some skills too. Let me show you the common ground that we walk on.
Yeah.
You know, so he's that officer that could literally, with his voice, diffuse the situation because he has that respect in the community. And that's the type of policing that we need. People who don't walk around like RoboCops and centurions and they have no emotion, no feeling, no humanity, no connection, and they're just corralling animals. But people who understand that the policing is a social activity as much as it is a physical or security-based activity.
I love that. What you just spoke, I love that, and it reminded me over almost about 50 years when I took my uniform off and put my, back when we couldn't carry off duty, I put my weapon up. I would come into my community to do community policing, and I would establish a rapport with the merchants, with the children in the neighborhood. Mr. Lewis passed on, but he used to see me in the neighborhood, and he said, Mr. Sanders, he said, thank you. I said, thank me for what? He said, I see you. You know, he said, I see you. You look out for our children. You look out for our kids. And I had to tell him, I said, Mr. Lewis, I said, this is our community, our neighborhood. I said, when y'all go to work, I make sure that I watch your houses, you know, your cars and all, that nobody would tamper with your property and all. And I feel a sense of responsibility that I could do that even though I'm off duty, and then even directing traffic for the church. When my kids used to go to church for another school after they got out of school, but I felt like I was doing something as a concerned citizen and a humanitarian. I'm concerned about all people. You know, that's why I say, when it all boils down, it's not a matter of whether, you know, you white or black or Puerto Rican or Chinese and all. We are all a part of humanity. And if we can think like that, if we came together as a people and stop with this, you know, killing one another and all this racism and discrimination. When I lived in the state of Florida, I knew nothing about that. I knew nothing about that until I moved to the city. Because back there, we had a pump where we pumped the water and put it in a bucket. The Hispanic heat could take the dipper and drink, you know, the water. Our people could take, the Indians could take, you know, the whites, you know. And we didn't have all of this, you know, this division, you know, and name calling, you know, calling people all out of their names. So I learned that my name is very important, Clarence Ellis Sanders Jr. But it was something in me. If you called me out of my name, I was willing to fight you. You know, you called me out my name, I was willing to fight you, but I learned not to be so on edge about that. You know, I was called all kinds of dirty names. Dirty names. Cars would go past me, hey! You know, I didn't know they were talking to me. I really didn't, because we never practiced that. And I look around because I thought they were talking about somebody else. But, you know, I learned to ignore stupidity. Ignorance and stupidity, nonsense and foolishness. All that energy and time and effort that I would waste on that instead of going to get myself a good education and just disregard, ignore that foolishness.
Yeah, to the extent that it's possible, that's what we have to try to do.
Right.
You know, I've been dealing with some craziness yesterday. Y'all see I'm tired today. I worked until after 3 a.m. last night. And then I was right back on the road at 6:30, headed to Baltimore. But my day got really thrown off because of a business situation that turned personal. When somebody said something that really made me angry. And what I realized is that in the course of focusing on that foolishness and focusing on the anger I felt, it took me off my square, and it took me off my track to accomplish what I needed to accomplish in other areas of my life and business. So you have to, guard your heart, guard your mind, and guard your thinking, because you can become so consumed with anger and that transmutes into hatred, and that you get disheveled in your spirit.
Right. Yeah.
And in your spirit, you're operating from a place of instability and imbalance, and you're not settled, and there's no equilibrium, and so everything you do is going to have the color of that disheveled spirit that you allowed to come upon you, when it will be maybe equitable for you to be angry and react, but it's not beneficial.
Right.
It's not edifying.
I agree.
The actual cost becomes greater than it would if you learn how to guard your spirit and say, that wasn't right. And you probably deserve for me to open hand give you a good one, right? But if I allow myself to be consumed by that, I might as well open hand and give myself a good one. Because I'm going to hurt myself as much or more than I'm hurting you. And so I'm adding insult to injury when I allow myself to be consumed by, the pain that's been caused by someone who really is in pain themselves. Say hurt people.
I didn't realize what was wrong with me after I had gone overseas and came back to the Marines, and then I got married, and I had a lot of death in my family and all of that. But I prayed to our Heavenly Father. I take my head off. I prayed to God to help me be from under the financial stress, the fear, the worry, the confusion, the regret. It's a combination of so many things that we don't understand, and when we don't stay on track, grief and all of that, will destroy your health. Racial hatred will help to destroy your health. So I'm no longer under that. I've been delivered from all of that because I got so sick. I didn't understand why. Grief, fear, worry, dealing with foolishness, people talking stupid, talking foolish talk, and involving myself in the stupid conversation that I cannot grow spiritually, intellectually, or physically by all of that mess. And I'm no longer under that. But there are people wound up in mental institutions, and then many of them committed suicide. Pow! Blew their own brains out. And all they had to do is just slow down. Slow down. And take an assessment of your life. You don't have to do that. Pow! Blow your brains out. You just slow down, put your faith in God, your trust in God Almighty, your belief in God. Receive Jesus in your heart as your personal Savior. I'm not preaching religion. I'm a spiritual-minded man. I'm not preaching religion. I don't preach religion, but society need to many people are going in a negative direction, and they don't have to go in a negative direction. You can reinvent yourself, change your direction. If you're going in one direction and you're not making any headway, change your direction. And if you still not making any headway, change your direction again. Change your direction, keep changing until you find your niche. Then you get into that, you practice, you may be a great writer, but nobody will know if you take a gun and put it to your head and commit suicide. The future generations won't know because you did not leave a legacy. You did not practice, those gifts that your Heavenly Father has given you. You didn't develop that ability to reason. And the only thing that makes the difference between us and the lower form of animal life is the fact that we have the ability to reason. Animals have instinct, but there are some animals that can think better than some people. I'm not trying to, show, that animals are great. The highest power is our Heavenly Father. We are a lower power, but we're not the lowest power. It's in your choices. You can choose to do right, choose to be positive or negative, choose to be educated or on the street corner. You have some spare change, sir. You don't have to go sit in a classroom to get an education. Go to the library, pick up a book. I'm challenging anybody out there. If they think that I'm lying, I'm flying and I don't have wings. I'm a living example because I used to hate school, but I developed an interest in school, so I went and took general studies, and then I took chemistry, I took biology, I took architecture and engineering. I went to Prince George's School to take automotive maintenance and all that. But don't compare yourself to me. And don't try to keep up with me and Mr. Robert Hall, because this is an educated man, and he's a businessman. But you can change. You don't have to continue being a failure. I'm challenging all of you listening to this program. Take the valuable information, and like when you read the Bible, it ain't about what you speak. You may be speaking good stuff, but learn to live it.
Put it into practice.
Put it into practice. I'm challenging. If somebody want to talk with me that is sensible, I'm here. But if you're going to talk some nonsense, stay away from me. I don't play. I'm serious. I ain't got time. Time is too valuable. Life is too short. Work while it is day, but when night cometh, no man can work. Work while your eyes open, and when your eyes close for the last time, if you haven't done what you were supposed to do, you won't get a chance to.
There it is. We appreciate y'all for checking out the show. I feel like my eyes about to be closed. I'm so tired.
I thought you were going to go have lunch with me, man.
I wish I could. My phone done gone dead. I got to go put some power in. I got a bunch of loans.
Get some food in your system.
I just ate on the way over here. That's why I went to Baltimore. But, I will say this, I think it's so important for us to continue, and I appreciate you for being on the show to provide the wisdom that you provide to the young men and women and those who are continuing to aspire to do great things, and keep planting good ideas, good vibes, good information, positive perspectives that people need to overcome circumstances and situations, difficulties they're dealing with in life. Hart Street Journal is here to educate, edify, enlighten, and entertain. So our goal is just to make sure that people, if you just spend 30, 40 minutes with us, an hour, whatever it is, that you are uplifted and then you get a little
something, you know, and you gave a good word there. And we're going to wrap the show up. Remember, like I said, this is ringing in my heart. Somebody needs to forgive somebody. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet leaves on the heel of the foot that crushed it. Y'all take care and y'all be blessed.
Peace.
Peace.